Hi guys and welcome back to Biologue. Hope you're having a great day and a great week. Today's video is going to be my biggest collaboration with IGCSE World Toppers and IGCSE Toppers who are going to share some tips, revision tips on how you can score A stars in every subject and how you can ace those exams. So make sure you stay till the end of the video for the English language part of the paper and the exams, because I know that's something you guys face a lot of trouble with, especially in terms of scoring marks. So make sure you stay till the end and like, share and subscribe to Biologue. And without further ado, let's begin.
Hi guys, my name is Krisha and today I'll be sharing with you a few tips and pointers that help me do well in chemistry and will hopefully help you guys too. I think in any subject it is really important for you to be thorough and confident in the subject matter. Concept clarity is key to doing well. So when you're studying, try and connect the dots of smaller subtopics, concepts and key terminologies so that you're sure you understand everything. This also helps you remember points more effectively. For me personally, majority of my learning and understanding took place in class, so it is imperative that you pay attention during classes. Don't be afraid of asking questions. I cannot emphasize this enough, but it is really very important for you to get all your doubts clarified before you walk into the examination hall. Carrying doubts into an exam can reduce your self-confidence, limiting your potential to do well. Chemistry is a subject where you need to pay attention to the smaller details that tend to be missed out. Many concepts and rules have their exceptions, so try and remember them as it can be helpful while solving any question. Make notes during your lectures and try your best to note down whatever your teacher says, because otherwise it becomes quite difficult to remember all the small details regarding a topic. Make definition sheets or at least try and find them online, as these can be very helpful when you have a huge syllabus to remember. Make summary pointers in the form of tables, charts, mind maps, diagrams to give you a good conceptual revision. Keywords and terminologies are very important for two reasons. Firstly, because they help you remember the most important top pointers of a topic, and secondly, because they are necessary for you to score marks, because the teacher is usually looking for very specific words to aid your explanation. Practicing past papers is essential for you to understand what kind of questions are being asked, how the paper is formatted, how to manage your time during the exam. With practice, you learn to recognize common questions and question types, which will help you prepare better for the exam and will also save your time while attempting the paper as you're familiar with the question. Make sure you show your steps and workings, as examiners need to know your foundational concepts and thought process is correct. Usually only 1 or 2 marks is given for the final answer, whereas majority of the marks is given for the steps or the workings that you show. Now, go through your answers and the mark scheme. Identify where you went wrong or which topics you might be weaker at, and put some extra effort into that to ensure if similar questions come again, you know how to proceed with it. How are you supposed to answer a question? Break down the question and try and understand what the question is asking you for and what concept or concepts it is expecting from you. Start making a mental list of the pointers and the flow of thoughts in your mind so that you have a structured final answer. Always give extra points for a question. That is, if a question is for 4 marks, you must ensure that you give at least 5 points. Finally, the most important tip is to have a positive mindset towards the subject. I know chemistry can be difficult at times, but if you give up, it's just going to make it harder. Enter the exam with confidence and tell yourself that you have prepared well and you can answer any question that comes your way. Take things as they come and enjoy the learning process. I hope these tips will help you. All the best!
Hi guys, my name is Ananth and today I'll be sharing a few tips with you on how to effectively study and prepare for your physics exams. Physics can be broken down into 2 parts, the conceptual and the numerical. It is vital that you study your concepts thoroughly in an effective manner to be able to attempt the questions. To do this, I would highly recommend reading your textbook and notes over and over again until you feel like you've gotten a good grip on what's being said. I feel it is always easier and more effective to almost have a discussion with yourself when you study. Study the concepts and then ask yourself questions on them to see if you can answer them. This would allow you to identify and even clarify your own doubts, helping you remember the material well. Go through any example questions in the textbook as well as any that you may have done in class, as it will help you test your knowledge on concepts as you study them. Now, you can proceed with attempting question banks and past papers. You would all have heard of sites like Save My Exams and Examine. If you haven't already, start using these resources as they enable you to get a feel of exam-style questions and identify your shortcomings. Do year-wise past papers from sites like IGCSE Center and do as many as you can, while paying more importance to the more recent papers such as those from 2016. Do Doing past papers does not mean simply skimming through the questions, nor does it mean blindly doing questions just for the sake of doing them. Read the questions thoroughly and see if you can answer them, and study them just like you would with your notes. Compare your answer to the mark scheme and see how well you have attempted the question. If you did not get the answer, study the mark scheme, ensuring that you will never make the same mistake again. Now, while diligently committing yourself to all of this will definitely improve your grades, to really excel in any subject for that matter is to enjoy it. Not just enjoy studying it, but enjoy giving the exams themselves, which I know is hard, but you gotta give it a go. Doing so allows you to attempt every question to your best ability. It helped me a great deal, and I'm sure it would help you too.
Hi guys, I'm Swasti and I'll be giving you some tips for scoring well in your English language and literature exam. Since the question you're provided with is very specific, you must not include any irrelevant points in your answer. You need to know all the implicit meanings in your text and look for symbolism, allusions, allegories, and most importantly, the context of the literary piece. For example, you must be aware of the setting, background, and time period and their significance on the piece itself. Before writing your answer, make a small mind map because this saves time and prevents you from forgetting your ideas for the topic statements. Lastly, always try to connect your answer with a deeper understanding of the text. The basic structure of an essay includes an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. The introduction basically summarizes the author's purpose and overall significance of the text provided. This should not be more than 4 to 5 lines and it must end with a thesis. A thesis sentence is a sentence which directly answers the question provided. The body paragraphs begin with a topic statement, which is the most important part of your essay, because sometimes the examiners may skim through your answers, and thus the first sentence of your body and your thesis must be powerful enough and must capture the essence of your entire answer. Your body paragraphs must be arranged according to different ideas that approach the question in different manners. You must not forget to include quotations and examples from the text itself. And the rest of your body is just an elaboration of and detailed analysis derived from your topic statement itself. Your conclusion summarizes your entire essay, and it's basically a paraphrased version of your thesis and all your topic statements. This should also not be more than 4 to 5 lines.
Hey guys, my name is Jay and I'll be sharing some tips on how you can prepare well for math examinations. Now I understand that mathematics is a very tough subject, and students struggling with math is a common thing. So how can you approach the subject more positively? Well, people think that they are bad at math when they can't solve questions or they can't recall formulae. This, however, should not make you feel discouraged, as it would create more stress. Instead, being bad at math means you're quite creative in nature. You should try to adapt and innovate new techniques of studying math. So for instance, you could create your own acronym or you could create your own song to remember math formulae. You can also study from online resources that explain math differently. How should you study for math? Just practice it. Solving past papers with a time limit is one of the best practices for the final exam. It is highly advisable that you should practice from different resources and not just one resource, because each problem would be of a different type or a different format, and so you would have an idea of what may be asked in the exam. Practice writing steps as well in your answers to improve your style of writing solutions. For how long should you do math? There really is not any fixed time duration for which you should practice math. However, you should target maximum practice. Take regular breaks and get a good sleep before the exam. This refreshes your mind, which is important for any exam. Plan and divide your time proportionately for studying and breaks according to you. My biggest advice to you would be about how you solve the question. First, analyze the details and values and focus specifically on what has been asked to find. Then, select a fast and efficient method, which requires less time and less steps. Try to write as many steps as possible. You might think it takes a lot of time, but it will reduce the chances of errors, give clarity to the examiner, and it will ensure that you gain the marks. Finally, during revision, solve the problem again and check your answer. So I hope these tips will be very useful for not only mathematics, but also the other related subjects. It was very beneficial for me and hopefully it will be for you as well.
Hello, I'm Praneeth and I will be sharing some tips on how you can prepare for your computer science exams. Firstly, understand the concept well. For example, how the internet works. This may be hard, but it's worth the reward in the exam. So how do you do this? Firstly, watch videos that show illustrations to really visualize the concept and what the textbook is trying to say. Also, ask your teacher if you don't understand something, and always make sure that you're clearing your doubts, because if one doubt isn't clear and you do not know how to solve the question, how do you plan on moving to the next concept? When you understand something, write it down in the way that you understand, in a notebook preferably. This ensures that you do not have to go through the trouble of relearning it for the next exam. This saves time, and time is everything. It will also help you to develop the skill of writing detailed answers in the exam. If you don't want to do so much, another method is just write down the key words and remember them. No matter how well you understand the concepts, some lists have to be remembered. It's always better to make a keyword list or definition sheet as mentioned, to really consolidate all the memorization into one place. As for your practicals, which is the fun part about computer science, just practice a lot and challenge yourself to solve problems. This way it will be fun too, and there's a higher likelihood of you getting the basics ingrained in your brain. You can easily find programming questions online. Try not to memorize anything apart from the syntax for a particular language that you're studying or pseudocode. As for past papers, they're all quite similar, so doing only one or two is required. This will allow you to understand what exactly the requirements are for you. Ideally, don't do past papers for GCSE just before the exam, but start doing them at least 1 or 2 weeks in advance. This is different to other subjects because in CS you have to study based on what you will expect in the exam. So don't waste your time on studying things that you don't have to. Make sure you go to the syllabus specification to know what exactly you need to learn. Now for my biggest and most useful tip. Try to understand what it is that you're studying and understand how it is present around you. This will make the subject much more meaningful, and application questions aren't uncommon in CS. For example, if you're learning about cookies, try to figure out how they play an important role in your personal online experience and how they might pose ethical concerns to you. Do they make life easier for you, and in what ways do they do so? Going on such a journey of exploration will make you much more confident in answering questions that seem out of the box and help you get much better marks. So all in all, studying CS is an active experience and not just memorizing the textbook. This is a really dynamic, exciting subject, and you can really breeze through it if you make the most of these tips that I've given you, and I wish you all the best of luck in your journeys with the subject.
For the language comprehension, you must read the passage very carefully and gain an understanding of the characters and the purpose before answering the questions. For instance, they may ask you to describe an aspect of the text in your own words. For this, you must not use any words from the text because they will penalize you. However, for questions where it is not mentioned to use your own words, you should copy directly from the text, as this saves time and still gives you full marks. For word identification, it is important that you use your own words and answer with respect to the context of the word in the phrase. For the summary, your points must be concise and you must include at least 9 different points that answer the question. Make sure to restrict yourself within 5 words of the given range. It can be tough, but you can learn how to perfect your summary writing skills with practice and using connective devices to shorten your sentences and include more points. Now, for your writer's effect, it's vital that you underline the most emotive phrases or imagery. You must include at least 3 imagery-based phrases out of the 6 you choose from 2 different paragraphs. Remember, this is not literature, and your analysis is going to be more language and diction-based rather than the analysis of literary devices. So even if your phrase explicitly communicates humor, you must include that in your analysis. Lastly, for your directed writing and narrative or descriptive writing, I highly recommend memorizing helpful vocabulary that pertains to the specific text type you write, and that you understand the different aspects that are expected in your answer. Overall, the paper is quite long, so you must time yourself properly and practice writing with a greater speed while simultaneously achieving the same quality of writing. Most importantly, chill and relax before examination so that you can write better and won't overload on stress. Good luck!
That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, do make sure to like, share and subscribe to Biologue. And again, I want to say thank you so much for 500 subscribers, guys. It really means a lot to know that you guys are actually enjoying my videos and are finding it useful. So make sure you leave some more suggestions and ideas for future videos in the comment section below, and I will make sure to add them to my list. And as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day.